And here we go, back with another TSDL game for Season 12. This is round of 16. We've got Cecil versus Awakened. And right off the bat, we have a Awakened one ban from Awakened. That's not confusing at all. A Boro ban from Cecil, a Boro pick from Cecil. That's something that a lot of people have kind of been picking up on that I've been noticing as well, is these, like, 3 tank, 1 healer with Awakened 1 boxes actually do tend to struggle against a Boro. They tend to be looking for, like, they tend to be trying to single target through tanks, right? Either single target through tanks or ban Rosin and AoE, both of which are pretty favorable for a Boro. They don't run a lot of assassins. Definitely not a lot of like really strong kind of all-in assassins. Like you have D-Heart, you have Lost Stone, but these assassins they're not as strong. They're a little bit more non-committal, right? They can go in and come back out okay. Right? You don't typically see like Epsilon or Werner or kind of the more high damage, high risk assassins. We've got a Boro, we've got a Lugner to go with them. Landius ban so that a Boro doesn't get the exclusive benefit, although there is a Freya here, so that's not actually going to work out. Toki pick, always a good unit, as usual. Nothing else to say there. Banning out healers is interesting from Cecil. This to me feels like it's a sign that Cecil's not wanting to go all in on the Aboro. Aboro is part of the plan, but not really the entire plan. Because if Aboro is the entire plan, then you actually want these healers getting picked because it's less damage that can break through to kill the Aboro. Right? It's less damage to break the tank to get to Aboro to kill the Aboro. We do have Kaguya, I'm gonna say. I don't know that for certain. There's 3 characters that are very, very similarly named. This is the one that no one uses, so I can't remember her name for certain. Anya's pick is always nice. I was saying this to my stream earlier, but I've actually been surprised by how much Anya's has picked up in usage. It could just be that she's hitting 6 stars now if you like summoned 1 or 2 of her on that banner. But even still, she didn't seem like a unit that would see as much play as she is. This is always kind of surprising for me to see. She's useful for certain. I'm just surprised that she was able to find a slot with all the competition. Right? Competition for box slots is very high right now, so being able to justify kind of a slower supportive unit like Agnes is always harder to do than just another DPS, another unit like Zerida. Cecil could ban the tanks out here. No, just bans the assassins, yeah. You could ban the tanks out there and go for like, and Leon's okay there. You do have Awakened one on the other side of the field, so Leon's not amazing. But, these 2 units without tanks are actually, without any tanks on the field, these 2 units can actually be pretty good. But no, it is still going to be kind of the Aboro plan. Right, she's just here to have enough offense that you can't focus entirely on killing the Aboro. But she's not really the main source of damage, especially not with the Landius on the field. Though you can just stun the Landius. I know that's one of the things that she does. She just perma stuns the tank, which is obnoxious. Yeah, so it's a very Aboro-centric plan for Cecil versus a lot of tank busters for Awakened. It might be in Cecil's favor. The only thing is, again, there's a lot of tank busters. Like, a lot of dedicated anti-tank units. Zerida is a unit designed to blow apart tanks. Gintoki is really designed to blow apart tanks. Doom Oracle from Awakened 1 is also really good at blowing away Hilda. Kaguya mostly there, so Awakened can advance with impunity. Yeah, basically, Kaguya is just trying to be, again, enough offense that you can't just go all in on the Oboro immediately. You have to be a little bit respectful. There is also a real healer. There is a Lugner, that's his name. That is a real healer. Also a nice support for the Oboro, right? You get to drop a bunch of the offensive stats for the enemies whenever they do things. Maybe even silence. Zerida's 3C passive might actually completely hose her versus Lugner. Right, if you do the like get sin before dealing damage. I don't know if Zerida immediately gets 6 stacks of sin or whatever if she hits multiple people. If she gets 2 for each person she hits, or if she just gets 1 for the effect. Regardless, there's the Oboro. There he is. You good, Volk? He's now a holy unit so that he can receive a buff from Lightbringer. That's creative. That's actually a really creative way to use that effect from Lugner. Oh, that has no cooldown, huh? That seems pretty good. Yeah, it's not a faction buff, so you don't get the free stack. But it is a buff, right? It's a buff on a Lugner, or it's a buff on an Oboro that was going to be buffless. And for all we know, this might not even be exclusive. Cecil did have, for a long time, the opportunity to pick a Freya to support this Oboro, and did not. That could hint that it's not actually exclusive at all. Because Oboro doesn't need exclusive to cycle up. It makes it quicker, sure, but it's still not. It's still not completely necessary. Although the real reason why not having exclusive is nice for Oboro is if you can be in a scenario where like you can transform, get your first stack, then end your turn to get your second stack before your tank buffs you. That's where you really want to be, because that lets you, that means that you'll have a buff when you jump out. With exclusive, or with just doing it like this, when this Oboro jumps using his 3C, he will lose his faction buff, so he will not have an attack buff at that point. Right, so that's the main reason why I don't super love exclusive on Oboro, because even with exclusive you'll never have a buff. If you run exclusive, you'll never have a faction buff when you use the transform. This could be a swordsmith. It's a lot of attack. It's a lot of attack and a lot of defense. It's really hard to tell, especially without knowing the Covenant. I would guess the Covenant is Heimdall. This could be an Overlord badge as opposed to a swordsmith, but swordsmith kind of makes a little more sense. Especially for Dragon Oboro, you usually are going to try and preserve rights with swordsmith that way. Someone's getting shoved. Or this is just trying to get as close as possible, as fast as possible. But I feel like someone's getting shoved. Oh my, it's just walking into the center of the map. Huh? Not a unit that can die. Oh, it's for Awakened 1. Yeah, this is walking to the center of the map so that Awakened 1 can switch on top of it, and then Black Hole. Green skill can be Overlord or Swordsmith. It's a lot of defense, but it's a lot of attack. Again, it's hard to tell with this. Everything's just really high. This is only on target, yeah. Here comes a black hole. There will be a debuff before it goes off, which is nice. Lugner's not the best at actually healing AoE damage. I guess this is an okay skill. I mean, it's basically mass heal. There's mass heal and prayer, essentially. This almost silenced itself going in, by the way. One more sin and this would have just gotten silenced. So, like, I believe the first... I think the first one did go onto her, yeah. Alright, there's the black hole. Nothing particularly valuable there. Kaguya probably does not want to try anything here, especially with the unbuffable. You probably just have to do a Lugner heal. Problem is, you do a Lugner heal, and then this is very likely just going to click this button on you. Lugner heal isn't great here either. Again, you would rather be healing after, like, at least one of these units does something. Is gonna heal. Kind of forced to. Again, you don't love having to heal there, though, as Cecil. Alright, everybody gets some debuffs. If that RNG stack had landed on Awakened one, by the way, she would have just been silenced. Which would have been very nice. Oh no, it's after taking action to get silenced. Oh, okay. Never mind then. Apparently I don't know how Lugner works. Unsurprising, because this is like the third Lugner I've seen ever. Alright, there's the bomb. This is mostly just for the debuffs. It does very little damage. You get a Moby down on the Lightbringer. Unbuffable on the Hilda is actually a very big deal. This is not a Blood-Packed Hilda. Don't let the 19k defense, or the 19k HP fool you. This is not Blood-Packed. This is either anti-stun or Heart of Gaia, very likely. My expectation here would probably be Zerida hard engaging to take a tank. Guess not. It's doing the Oboro thing. Awakened one's now out of the game for a while. This silence actually doesn't matter. I mean, look at this. The silence makes no difference. Awakened one doesn't have a skill to click. Silence would matter on these units. Alright, Zerida's going in. Gonna try and just snipe a tank here. Never mind. Actually doing the AoE. I guess trying to pick off the Kaguya who can't heal herself right now. Right, Lugner's not able to dispel this either. This anti-AoE debuff is also really annoying for Oboro. Quite enough to kill with Greasy. And now it is on cooldown. So not able to use Hidden Card here thanks to the anti-act again. So she was not able to get herself guaranteed clocking that skill. This Zerida is a problem. Kaguya almost dead. Toki gonna take the snipe on Kaguya. Your block on Oboro's also a pretty big deal here. These units are in a lot of trouble. Right, Oboro still has 2 turns to go. I don't think Oboro's gonna get those 2 turns. Chipping the Zerida to try and deny the 3C kill, but it probably won't kill Lightbringer from this HP, but it should still kill Hilda. Free. You can still just step down, hit the Lightbringer, bonk Hilda, and then start coming in with Gintoki here. No, actually backs off. Not confident enough to go for the Hilda there. I guess the Hilda does have a lot of defense. But even still, this was like, what, 1600 with the Lugner debuff? I feel like you could have still gotten away with that. Maybe you're gonna just kill the Hilda with the Gintoki here, since she can't transform because she was buff blocked. Gill block is gone on the Oboro. Oh, I guess this'll take anyway. So there's one. I don't know which tank has priority here for certain. Hilda should be able to take the Gintoki from Royals. Yeah. Especially because he's going to get a bunch of stacks when he goes in. Well, I guess he doesn't have the pre-combat AoE, so he won't get that many stacks. Yeah, I don't know about that disengage there. I don't know if that was the right play to not try and kill this Hilda while you had the chance. While Zerida was buffed up, standing in front of her. Again, unless it doesn't kill, but... Still feels like Zerida should have been able to kill from 40%, even with only 2 werewolves. There's 3C from Agnes. Kill the Zerida back up, but now she doesn't have a buff, is the issue. Oh, this gives regen, huh? Sure does. Gintoki not willing to venture beyond the safety of the tank to go in here. That does mean this Oboro is coming out. This Oboro gets to transform with 4 units, or with both tanks and healer alive. That seems really good for Cecil. Turn priority as well means that you get any snipe that you want. Awakened one's gonna silence herself again at the end of this turn, by the way. Well, no, she's gonna dispel. No, that is the silence. It's not the dispel. Yeah, she's gonna silence herself again, right as her skills come back up. Just Gintoki does attack drop himself before going in. Not even close to a kill, but this does set up for the Zerida to attempt to kill. Right, because now Lightbringer has to choose between getting more stacks in order to keep her buffs, or getting healed by the Lugner. Problem is, Lugner can click the 3C heal, and all these units are going to get a whole bunch of debuffs. Zerida also has to pull onto... Oh no, that's not the forest. These two are staying. That's just grassland. Okay. Is gonna try and survive the Zerida here. Here we go. Zerida does drop her attack even more. Might depend on Zerida dispelling the defense buff here. I don't know what she dispelled. Alright, Zerida silences herself. So there's a whole Hilda. That's what Cecil has going for him. Oboro is fully transformed, and they have an entire Hilda that the enemy team has to get through while being almost entirely silenced. I mean, that seems like a pretty good situation if you're Cecil. This seems pretty nice. I guess Gintoki's not silenced, but Gintoki can't really do too much to Hilda. This Awakened one's probably just gonna basic attack kill the Hilda though. Not quite enough. Not quite enough, but you need healing. Alright, this is too much damage. Now you're looking at Oboro having to either kill the Gintoki here or be able to just tank the Gintoki. That's actually a lot of healing. It's a lot of healing, but it's still, you're in the same scenario where you're just getting smacked by this Awakened one. Ooh, Gintoki actually debuffing himself here. Don't see that every day. And it's gone immediately. But he was in a sugar coma for a moment. Here's the jump, boost the target. It has to be Awakened one. I will let Gintoki back in, but, well, now you're a holy unit, so actually Gintoki will do some pretty decent damage. Unless he dispels it. Cannot be dispelled. Okay, yeah, that's not great. Lugner might get this Hilda in trouble here. You think Agnes is the target? Well, I do think Zerida was not the target. So I'm a little confused by that one. I guess maybe scared of reflect damage from the Awakened one. That was a bad attack. That attack actually healed the Hilda and got rid of the kind of troublesome half transform, or holy transform. I mean, yes, if you kill this, there's no healing afterwards, but I feel like healing's not the issue right now. I guess killing this does avoid the Gintoki waking up on you. So that was probably the reason for it. Oh, what? I'm saying kill Awakened one. What am I thinking? Awakened one just comes back. Yeah, kill Awakened one never works. And that's going to be it for game one. Cecil kind of recognizing Hilda's about to go down. Oboro has just too much to do. Oh, I actually have both of them rendered. And off we go to game two. Cecil taking first move. Let's see if anything comes out of backups. The Oboro was in a pretty decent position that game. It was actually the Kaguya who really messed Cecil up. The Kaguya just kind of went down really easily to all the AoEs. Wasn't able to sit there and take them, and just kind of just got beaten down coincidentally while they were also hitting the Oboro. Wasn't able to counter kill anything either after taking all the chip damage. That being said, the Kaguya also was in that position because she got heal blocked. So like, if you run that exact same game back, maybe the Kaguya doesn't get heal blocked, and then Cecil's actually just fine. is going to be a pretty big switch, though. Not a believer in the Kaguya after watching her just kind of die. Archon is an interesting choice. Zerida making an appearance, always a good unit. Kelma's okay. Did drop a tank for this, but Cecil was already playing 4 tank. And Awakened one ban, Cecil is gonna just grab Rosin here. I believe they had the opportunity to do this last game and elected not to. Yeah, because they went for the Oboro first. We should see an Oboro ban at this point. That does make things awkward for Cecil. You don't really have anyone to just kind of sit on the Rosin. A lot of these units are pretty engage heavy. Ooh. So Oboro is still open, but that leaves you without a tank, which you really can't afford if you're going to try and go Oboro. The problem with picking a tank here is you have 2 tanks and 1 healer left. Actually, 2 tanks and 2 healers left. So picking a tank here locks into a second tank or a second healer at the end. Also, I haven't been paying attention to the other side. That's an Omega. I haven't been looking at this side of the screen at all. What is this doing here? What did it replace? McLean? Okay. I guess Awakened saw some of the skill numbers on Cecil's team and said, oh yeah, I can kill things with Omega. Whether that actually is the case or not, we'll find out. Omega, well known for being not a great unit. Even if he does triple Rosin, he still might not kill her behind Shrine Maidens, especially not with a Hilda for support. First pick Omega is wild. I'm not very confident in this first pick. We'll see. We'll see. Awakened is a good player. They know what they're doing with this pick. They have an idea. See how well it pans out, though. Again, the Hilda makes it feel really bad. I also don't know if Cecil actually would have prioritized banning this. I feel like if I was looking at this box and I saw the Omega, I just kind of wouldn't ban it. Lugner bricks Omega, by the way. Really? What does he do that bricks Omega? Is it just the debuffs from Sin? Because he gets 4 debuffs when he goes in? I'm not sure. Yeah, so when he goes in, he gets 4 stacks of Sin and drops his... Oh, no, he has he has the skill that stuns you if you have 4 Sin, right? So if you try to act again with Omega, you just stun yourself immediately. Okay. Yeah, I can see it now. D-Heart pick. Yeah, so it's just going to be a lot of assassins into Oboro Hilda. Hilda is very nice to have, though. You got the Rosin to support you as well. We do know that this Oboro has a lot of defense. This Oboro has a lot of defense, and there's a tree for him to camp on in a good spot. It's going to be hard to break through with these assassins. There is a 3rd assassin available, though. And at some point, if you just have all the assassins, you can get there. Leon coming in, just trying to do the same thing that Kaguya was trying to do last game, right? Be a little bit of offense to stop these units from just running all the way forward immediately. I wouldn't have minded the Leanna pick from Cecil, honestly. Just because with a bunch of assassins, if you just have a bunch of healers and an Oboro, the assassins really... You know, the assassins go one by one and smack into the Oboro, bounce off, and then you heal them back up. Leanna's still an option. Gintoki, not the worst here, but there will be a tank on the other side. Unless Awakened goes all in and picks the Zerida. If Cecil doesn't ban it. so there will be a tank over here. Again, with the tank on the field, I don't mind the Leanna pick. It will be Gintoki. But I really would not have minded Leanna at all. Oboro will get tripled by the Omega, right? So Omega will do a lot of damage to Oboro. But at the same time, it's like 1200 defense Oboro on a tree. Versus Oboro with maybe a mass attack. Or versus Omega with maybe a mass attack. Excuse me. So yeah, we'll see how well this Omega does. Again, I could see him not doing very well at all, if I'm being honest. I would not be surprised if this first pick Omega was not particularly strong. There isn't a buff for Oboro, true. But where there's a Tenyos, there's a way. I guess the Raza might not be Tenyos, but it's probably Tenyos. And again, even without the buff, this guy had like 1100 defense. Miracle support as well is always nice. One of the main reasons to run Dragon Oboro is you get to run Last Rites, which just completely hoses Omega as well. So if he's hitting into you with the Rites, then that damage reduction is massive. And if you don't have Rites, then his troops probably don't do damage. Does he have better troops now? Nope, he still has absolute garbage. So yeah, Hellfires are the choice. Omega 599 skill, so you have to be what? 199? Not get tripled? Nope, you have to be 200 to not get tripled. So all these units are getting tripled. Oh, it's skill Omega. It's not actually double act again. That does cut into his range quite a lot. Oh, yeah, that would make sense. Lurker Omega to kill from 4 range. Oh my, that's not the tree. That's also too far forward. You don't have to be this far forward. Right, you can just go... You can go onto this tree as an Oboro, even without the faction buff or anything. Reinforcements make sense here, right? You're gonna need to be able to recover HP against all the assassins. Especially with only one healer, who did not bring single target heal. Empire buff is really nice. This Leon also has, like, no attack. What happened to this Leon? Why is he so anemic? Like, he's getting out-attacked by Gintoki and Oboro. That's wild. Oh man, Cecil not going to the tree really makes me uncomfortable. You would have brought the range damage reduction. The 25% activation one. That's what you would have gambled it all on. Was the 1 in 4. I mean, if you get it, I guess. Hello, game. Thank you. Faction buff. Interesting. So no mass attack means that Omega doesn't have a buff. Which again does not have me feeling great for his damage potential. Probably end turn with Gintoki here, because that's basically free. Oh, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the Oboro does. Again, on the tree, getting an extra basically 200 defense, I would have felt much more confident in the Oboro. Out in the open like this, though, versus faction buff on Lost him, I don't know. Yeah, Leon will do a lot of damage, but again, look at this Leon. He has 1600 attack. Oh, he doesn't have... He brought double skill. Okay, that's probably why his attack is so low. He also doesn't have exclusive... No, he brought double skill. That's why he doesn't have Terrain Master. Which means that Awakened gets to make a pretty aggressive push like this. Because Leon can't just run across the map and kill a unit for it. Actian coming out to give the Oboro, or give the Omega a buff. He in range? He is, just barely. All right, the assassins are all going in right now. Could see Leon like run up to here, throw down the AoE maybe, so that when the Omega does end his turn, he gets a damage down and some chip. Could also see Leon throw out 3C for similar reasons. Right, chip all these units. That doesn't give you the damage down because they're not standing on your terrain, but maybe. Nope, Leon just gonna sit there. I feel like he could have, like, gone to here, AoE'd, and just walked back, right? He does get to walk back after AoEing, doesn't he? Maybe he doesn't. I feel like I've seen Leon's walk after AoEing them. Omega troops make no sense. Yeah, well, I don't think we know for certain that this is fixed immune, but we're guessing that it's fixed immune. And these guys just suck. Yeah, I'll agree with you there, Tyr. I'm not sure why there are Hellfires here. I know Omega does not have great troop choices in general. But I feel like Hellfires might have been bad even amongst the garbage. That being said, there should be no way that Oboro actually takes all three of these. Two of them? Yes, I could see two of them. All three? No way. No, he's only going to have to take two of them, apparently. Hellfires are pretty good. Really? No attack up whatsoever? Damage 30% if Hilda's talent counts as a debuff. Yeah, but you know that he's not going to be at 100%, so I'd... Like, Shinobi get the same damage up, but get more attack? Or, no, they get less attack. Assassins want to hit full HP, don't they? Whatever. Regardless, here comes Lost Him. First one going in. Okay, Lost Him just breaking the anti-crit. So it's actually going to be all in on Omega getting the kill here. Lost Him does take a good chunk for doing that as well, thanks to the broken arrow. Alright, here he goes. Kill Omega. Easy. Easy with the crit. That being said, if you look at positioning, right, Awakened is not in a terrible spot, honestly. Leon still can't really do anything. All the Leon can really do is just AoE and hit these guys. Cecil also does not have turn priority thanks to Gintoki now being Gintoki. Gintoki also does not want to get close to this D-Heart. Even with full transformation. Yeah, so still just going to hide away from the D-Heart. And yeah, with Awakened having turn priority here, this is not a bad spot to be in. Leon not really able to engage super favorably either. You do have to watch out for this Omega just getting like one shot by Leon at some point, but that would be probably more of a commitment than Cecil can afford to make. Hilda going to be a massive problem now that Oboro is gone. It's looking real bad for Cecil. Yep, everyone just runs away and lets Sissy do her thing. Yeah, it worked out. It worked out. And he got the 30% boost from Sissy, which was a big deal. Right, versus an unbuffed Oboro without any terrain to help him out. So I think there were scenarios where that didn't work out for Awakened, but they actually, the pick ban was good enough that it was okay. So they knew what they were doing with the Omega pick. Which is what I said, right? I wasn't sure of it because I don't play Omega, but they probably knew what they were doing. Make it work. Leon here probably fine against the D-Heart. Gintoki probably not fine though. I guess there's anti-crit. You had to break the anti-crit first before Gintoki's actually in danger. Hilda turns Lancer. Forced into Lancer transform by the Leon, but that does make you very Gintoki weak. I don't expect D-Heart to try and do anything here. Oh, yeah, basic attack to break anti-crit is basically nothing, right? It's going to take, again, a pretty sizable counterattack there. No damage to D-Heart himself, it's all on fairies at least, so he's still... You know, he's not dead to like a Leon AoE kind of thing. The Leon could potentially like move through him, chip him with the fixed damage, and then try and do something. Try and blow him up with 3C. Not gonna go for it though. Probably not enough damage, not with this little attack. Uh-oh, here comes Omega again. Looking for Leon's life. Does lose some attack buff. Oh, he lost the exclusive buff that made it so he could actually hit from that range. And now he's just standing here looking like an idiot. Whoopsies. That's not good. Well, I mean, that's a reason to bring Rosin buff, right? This is another thing I wasn't confident in. That worked out. Rosin buff is, in fact, one of the best in the game. Might just straight up be the best. Oh, bye. The question here is, can Leon actually move back? The second question is, does it matter if he can't? No, he can. D-Hard, are you dead to this? Not quite. Not even close. Hilda way out of position now, though. Anti-crit is back up for Cecil as well. I mean, where there's a Gintoki, there's a way, right? Cecil might not be in a great spot, but they're not out of it. What? Get out of here. Ooh, lost him looking for something without an attack buff. Chip into Leon. I think they're gonna try to double tap Leon here. And away he goes. An AoE for the weapon break on D-Heart. Get a little bit of an attack drop. Not a great spot to be in. Who knows? Oh, nope, there's no Rosin buff to dispel. Never mind. Yeah, this is going to be at too much HP. With no fairies, this definitely would not kill Leon, but this is going to have 5? Yeah, it's going to have... No, it's going to have 6. Yikes. Just barely gets the 6th one. Yeah, that's way too much damage into him. He's gone. Do we take the... Yeah, we took the 30% attack buff as well. I mean... There's still a Gintoki, but it's not looking great. It's gonna smash his head into these royals. Yeah. Probably hoping for a guard dispel. Did he get rewarded? Looks like no. Not get rewarded with the guard dispel. Lost him is dead to shove at least. Right, so nope, he has 4 move, he's not dead. His sissy buff, yeah. Nope, so you don't even get to cheese him with shove. Shove's not even available. Yeah, at this point, Awakened's just gonna wait for D-Heart's skill to be back up. And that will be the end of Gintoki. I know Shove was just used, but also Gintoki basically doesn't have cooldowns, so like literally if he ends his turn here and then gets an act again from someone else dying, then Shove is back up. Like, he doesn't have cooldowns. Does make it through the Makes it through the royal calves just in time for Hilda to go back to full HP. Lost him actually is just going to go for this kill since Gintoki's out of guard now. Alright, just hit him with the greasy. It's going to be a lot of damage. Wind wall, though, probably means it doesn't kill. It's a Gintoki. What sissy buff? God, Gintoki's so silly. There is an assassin skill available now, though. So this Gintoki needs to step back and heal himself. But he also really wants to be putting pressure on this Hilda. But if he just steps back to heal, then he can't pressure the Hilda at all. Right, if he hits the Hilda here, then D-Heart can just punch him in the face to soften him up for lost him assassin. Do you back off or do you get a life on the Hilda while you have the chance? That's the question. Oh, just gonna shove. Doesn't really do anything. Right, that's what you have to do to keep the Gintoki safe, but the problem is that you can't win from here. Like, you can't win by hitting the Hilda either. You're just doomed. Doomed no matter what. Gintoki's transform is also about to wear off, which is not great. Cecil could go for a fog block here. Right, Hilda here, Gintoki drops down to this tile. It's not great, but if that's what you've got. The problem is the assassin skills will come up in time to just kill Gintoki and then open up the tile. Or kill Rosin. Doesn't really make a difference which. Yeah, Awakened just gonna wait. Break anti-crit while they're at it. D-Heart does lose a lot of HP and his attack buff for doing that though, which is not irrelevant. Hey, anti-crit goes back up. The problem is Hilda can just break it. But if Hilda breaks anti-crit, then she's probably dead to Gintoki after. She probably takes too much damage. On the Royals, they all get cleaned up. I guess he gets his attack buff back anyways. He's not in guard. No, he is in guard. Discarded last turn. Okay. I thought that guard was still on cooldown. Or rather, I thought that guard still had to be set up. Yeah, and so we're just going to double tap the Rosin because you can't stop it. And Cecil is ahead on damage for now. The problem is I don't think Cecil can actually last until the end of the game. One Lancer dies, another Lancer takes its place. Because Gintoki can no longer actually attack for damage anymore. I guess Hilda can attack for damage. Try to break the troops. Yeah, this actually does less damage. Oh no, he got the crit, so he barely out-damaged Hilda there. Skills aren't up for a while. These units aren't actually in a great spot. Was that rosin kill actually bad? Like, these units really do not have an easy time actually getting into the center from here. That's going to be some more damage for the Gintoki as well. Cecil building the lead. D-Heart's not going to be active again in time. I think Awakened's actually in trouble here. I guess D-Heart can get the act again. Cecil again failed to dispel guard with the Gintoki 3C. Yeah, I mean, this is very much not over. Just because it's so awkward to get out of the fog here for Awakened. Should be able to get there. Right, Lostum can take this tile and then... Lostum can take this tile and then like these two take those. No, Sissy's actually dead guaranteed now. The Sissy's gone. Right, as long as you preserve this positioning, Sissy can't come in. These two units are both keeping themselves safe. D-Heart will have skill available. Okay, the tanks trade end turns because both know that this is kind of... that it's all about hitting this Gintoki at this point. They should be able to kill him. Right, these two together should be able to kill the Gintoki. The question at that point becomes, do you get the damage lead? Actually, you probably can just straight up kill this. Right, Gintoki goes down and then you just beat down the Hilda over like 8 turns. Or over the remaining 3 turns, whatever. You get the idea. Especially because the Hilda doesn't have the faction buff here. I think the question that Cecil might be asking right now is, do you actually sack Gintoki to take one of these out? And try to hold on with Hilda? Ooh, no, just gonna make the positioning very awkward for these two units. They actually have to melee the Gintoki, which means that he gets to counterattack. Yeah, that's a really good spot to drop that Gintoki. Ah, D-Heart sacks himself for it though. Okay. That did not do very much at all though. I think he missed crit again. They actually both sacked themselves. Gintoki down. Damage is close, but Cecil's gonna lose because there's a Sissy. Sissy can just free poke the Hilda to build the damage lead again. That was really close, actually. That was a very close end game. Well, that's going to be it. So we'll have Awakened moving on to the round of 8, which starts up next week. I guess it starts tomorrow, technically. And we'll see you later as those games get played out. Bye.